What's going on, guys? I'm Zach from the Lumios Post, where we talk about all things Pokemon. And today, we'll be talking about everyone's favorite tricky little fox, Zorua. So Zorua and Zoroark were introduced way back in Generation 5. They were very special Pokemon. They kind of got that treatment where if you were a little kid, you may have even thought that they were legendary Pokemon. The only way you could get them in the games they were introduced, Black and White, was either to have Celebi from an event that was done for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, or a shiny Raikou, Entei, and Suicune that was done again for an event in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And if you had Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, you could get a Zoroark in Black and White, and if you had Celebi, you could get a Zorua, and obviously you could just evolve that Zorua into a Zoroark. And then in Black 2 and White 2, they made it a little easier by giving you a Zorua that N used to have. It's a gift Pokemon you get when you get to Driftvale City. But that's the only way you get Zorua or Zoroark in the Unova region. It's a Unova Pokemon, but you can only get it as a gift or as a gift from doing a crazy event. So it's a little bit weird, and it's definitely a Pokemon that I think you could make the argument isn't from Unova. And so that would make one wonder, well, where is it from? Well, thankfully, our latest game, Pokemon Legends Arceus, has actually provided us with kind of an answer to that. Pokemon Legends Arceus is obviously set in the past. It's set in, like, the Sinnoh of old, and in fact, the region Hisui is so old that even though it's the Sinnoh region, it looks drastically different. And one of the wild Pokemon in this game is Zorua and Zoroark, but they look a little bit different, and they have different types. They are normal and ghost type. And today I'm going to talk about how neither the Unovan Zorua and Zoroark or the Hisuian Zorua and Zoroark are the original. So what this means is that there is actually another Zorua and Zoroark variant that we haven't seen, and to be honest, we may never see. The reason I believe this is because if you look at the descriptions for the official information we got for Zorua and Zoroark, the Hisuian forms, it says that they actually formed because they were overhunted. Zorua and Zoroark were overhunted, and their like hatefulness and just vengeance formed a Pokemon. It formed this new form, this normal ghost-type form of Zorua and Zoroark. Now, initially, my first reaction, and I think many others' first reaction was, oh, okay, so Unovan Zorua and Zoroark are the original. They lived in Hisui, and then they were overhunted, and that caused them to become Zorua and Zoroark. But instead, I propose that the timeline works a little bit differently. So one thing that really confused me about Zorua and Zoroark, and it's also one of its coolest features, by the way, is that the Hisuian form is normal and ghost type. This is a great competitive typing, and will definitely work really well with Zorua and Zoroark's ability Illusion. But it's really cool, and I don't think anybody wants to question it because it's cool, but it doesn't make sense. The ghost type makes sense. Zorua and Zoroark were literally overhunted. They are back from the dead. They are literally ghosts. But where's the normal type coming from? If Zorua and Zoroark from Unova were in Hisui and were overhunted, I would imagine that the Pokemon that comes back would either be ghost or normal ghost type. So what I'm proposing happen is that the original Zorua and Zoroark were actually just pure normal, or maybe something else. Since Zorua and Zoroark are found in the cold areas of Hisui, maybe they were normal ice. But I think that this form of Zorua, this normal or normal ice variant of Zorua, was overhunted and eventually died out, and then its vengeance came back as this normal ghost type Hisuian Zorua. Then, over time, that hate grew and grew and grew, making Zorua become pure dark type. Now, the thing to know about the dark type is, while we hear it as dark and people have kind of proposed it dark as a contrast to light, in Japanese, it is actually called the evil type. So, focus on dark type as the evil type, not the dark type for a moment. Zorua and Zoroark's Hisuian form was formed by a grudge. by hatred building up and building up. And if you've watched Star Wars, Yoda told it to you, that hate grows and grows and grows and eventually leads you to the dark side. Pun intended, absolutely 100%. I think that Zorua and Zoroark's Hisuian forms had so much hatred that just over time they literally became evil from their grudge. And so they acquired the evil type or the dark type. And that is how we got the Unovan Zorua and Zoroark today. So to recap, I think that the Unovan Zorua and Zoroark are the newest form of Zorua and Zoroark and actually were imported to these other regions, Unova, Kalos, any game where you can find Zorua in the region, from Sinnoh or Hisui. And the Hisuian Zorua had come before the Unovan Zorua, but the original Zorua is a Pokemon that's normal Ice type, and given that it was overhunted long before the old games of Hisui took place, it's very likely that we may never see this Zorua and Zoroark variant. This is just a theory based off of stuff that's in the game. I don't actually know if this is true. It's just something that came into my head, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to share that. That really may hold some weight to it. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. And while you're at it, why don't you let me know which one you prefer. Do you prefer Hisuian Zorua, or do you prefer Unovan Zorua? And let me know the same for Zoroark. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, because we do talk about all things Pokemon on this channel, including other theories and Scarlet and Violet stuff, and just other stuff too that we think is fun to talk about. Until next time, I will see all of you later.